Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of The Music Factory. I'm so glad you could join us this week. I'm your host, Luke Morrison, and joining me is a good friend of mine, Jake Fountain.
What up?
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Jake and I know each other from a small town called Fayette, Alabama. I'm sure a lot of you are there listening right now or watching right now. And we're going to learn about Jake this hour, and we're going to get to hear some of his music. We're going to hear where Jake started and where he's going. So again, we're so glad that you could join us on this week's edition of The Music Factory.
I'm glad to be here too, man.
So Jake, let's talk. Where are you from?
Originally from Northern California, a place called Redding, California. And spent half my life in Redding, California, and then I moved to Tuscaloosa. Mm-hmm. And then I graduated high school from Fayette County.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I spent a lot of time up around this area, so I was excited when you said I could come do a show with you.
We're glad to have you. Jake actually was a part of the very first concert on the courthouse lawn that we put together when I was in high school. So Jake is...
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Look, Jake has always been a good sport. He's a super talented musician. Now, how did you get started in music? What were you a kid, or did you get involved later in life?
Funny story, man. I had a guy, one of my buddies, he played guitar, and I was a jock, man. I mean, you know, I guess you could call me a jock. I was a little bit of everything, but I never had an idea that I could even play music. And I had a buddy that told me I probably couldn't do it. So I went and got a guitar and I just started playing. And I fell in love with it.
How old were you think?
Man, I picked up a guitar when I graduated high school.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I never played until I got out of high school and
wow,
started rocking. That's it, man.
I had no idea. So this is really something that's in your blood then. So. In my opinion, for you to have, of course there's a lot of hard work that came along with it, but for you to just pick it up at that age and be at the point you're at now, as talented as you are, you've really put in a lot of work, and you've certainly got it in you.
Not to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I never knew it until later. It never dawned on me. I used to watch my dad sing in church, and he just sang with so much conviction and so much stuff, and I just always wondered how he could do that. Yeah. You know, and when I started playing music, I learned that I got a lot of that feeling from my pops, you know. Right. So it was kind of...
So it does kind of run in the family.
Enlightening, yeah, very enlightening. So
okay, cool,
yeah, it's cool.
So you started, you played in some bands coming up after high school and up to this point also. Tell me about your project, your solo project. What are you going to be doing now?
The stuff I'm doing now is it's more positive rock music, and it's Christian rock too. You know, it can go either way. You know, I'll leave it up to the listener to decide. But it all comes from life experiences, man, and the crazy world that we live in today. I mean, if you can't find a song to write about and what's going on now, I mean, you can't write. You know, so
right.
You know, I just started writing music with my guitar. I played just a little bit of piano, but when I picked up the guitar, man, I would play. And then I just started singing, and I don't know, I just kind of started doing it, man.
So you just kind of, we're going to talk more about Jake's writing process and the story behind the songs that you're going to hear tonight. But were you always writing music, or did you start out just playing and then the writing came? What was...
It was just maybe little bits and pieces here. You know, it's hard to get confidence when you first start writing music. You never think, wow, I can write music. You know, it's really hard to get that confidence. So I would play a little guitar, and I would learn from my buddies and different bands that I was in. I would just pick up this and that, and I just found, you know, people were actually saying, man, I love those lyrics.
Right.
What made you write about that? You know what
exactly?
And then I realized that, you know, all the good songs, not all the good songs, but most good music out there actually comes from life experiences. You know, things that you go through. You know, bad breakups. You know, bad. You know.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah.
No, but you know, bad breakups, or you know, you go to church and you feel something different. You know, that people just can't give you on an everyday basis. You know, or things that you know that. Like my roommate, he has a little girl. She's 6, and she comes flying through the house on the roller skates, you know. And I'm just like, wow, that's a song right there. How much enjoyment, you know, just being a kid, and the things that you think about. You know, people get so cluttered these days with I got to be this, or I want to be this, and I got to make this amount of money.
Really caught up in the image of
everything. Yeah, whether you're a lawyer, doctor, preacher, teacher, so many things, you get caught up in the everyday life.
Yeah.
Of just life in general, man, and that's what I write about, man. Just the things that keep me ticking, that keep me moving.
So you've been able to take these observations, and what I love about songwriters, because I am not one. I could not carry a tune in a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm not someone that can articulate things like that in a song. So this really fascinates me. That you can hear something in silence. And
it's actually
so fascinating.
You almost see it.
Really?
You almost. I do. In order, I can't. Sometimes, if you just play a song, sometimes you might get lost in the song. But if you see it, play it out in your head like a story. Every time, no matter how many times I play a song, like I see that same story going through my head. And if I lose track of that story, sometimes you lose track of your spot in the song. For me,
right? Right. So you've got an album coming out later this year that we're going to talk about more after we hear some of your music. How did you get to this point? What did you always want to be, a solo musician, or did you want to be a guy in a band? What were your goals?
I was just happy to be playing music. I mean, I wasn't the smartest guy in school. I'm sure a lot of people can vouch for that. But I just started doing it. You know what I'm saying? Just started doing it. I mean, like when you go through so many different things in your life, man. Like I went through, my parents being split up. That takes you to a whole different spot. In your life, and I was always told that I needed to go through college, which is a great thing to get through college. I went through a little bit of college and everything, and when I started playing music, it took over, and I just wanted to follow that dream, But I never really thought that I would be a solo artist or anything like that. I never looked at myself that way. I was just happy to be with, just to be with a group of guys that we could get together and make some racket, and it was, it was cool. I play guitar, I play bass, and everybody goes. Every musician out there can tell you that you do go through a learning process, and most of the time you learn those processes with other people that are better than you. And I went from playing guitar to playing bass. I never wanted to be a bass player, but I've been playing bass now for almost 12 years now. And making a living at playing bass and touring and playing music and stuff. And I think it's that time now to just release my own record and get my thoughts out there so I can start another chapter.
I can't wait to hear more about the record that's coming out later on this year. If you'd like to hear some of Jake right now, you can check out the Chill Out compilation album. Is that right?
I have a few things. You can get on YouTube or Google Jake Fountain, and then you can go to jakefountain.com, and I have some Facebook stuff. But you can also I have one song that's actually going to be on the record. It's called Why, and you can get an acoustic version of that on iTunes. And I hope pretty soon you'll be able to get the whole record. So
I'm really excited to hear that record when it comes out. I'm excited. Just getting to hear you warm up earlier, I was like, wow, this is gonna be big. So you've definitely.
Now you're just being nice.
No, look, you've got the sound, and I can't wait. And one thing that really caught my attention was, yes, you're talented and everything, but when you perform, it seems like you really feel the music, and it goes back, I guess, to what you said about kind of going somewhere and having those life experiences to draw upon. So it seems like, do you feel like you kind of go back to that place while you play?
What happens, man, is for me, when I can write a song about something, it's almost like it gives me closure on that situation.
Yeah.
Because if you can sit back and analyze a situation, in your life, if you've lost somebody that you love, or a newborn baby, two totally opposite things.
Right.
But you can actually get that same emotion out of those things, and this life is so short but in this short life that we're in, there's so many different things that you can write about,
So many huge life experiences that you have to draw upon.
But the things that you thought were huge when you were younger, now you look at it, and it's not a big deal.
Right.
But from the eyes of a little girl, that's her big deal, or a little boy, that's as you're growing up, those are the things that make you who you are. You know?
Running through the house on the roller skates. That's
there
a big deal at
yeah.
that moment in time.
And if you take the roller skates away, that just ruins your whole world, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I see that all the time. It's really cool. It's really cool.
That's awesome. And we're going to take a break here in just a second, but I want to remind you folks to check out jakefountain.com, and you can also get on iTunes and just search for Jake Fountain on iTunes, and you can pick up the acoustic version of Why, which we're going to get to hear later on this hour. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk some more with Jake about his inspiration for a couple of his songs, and then we'll get to hear them. So we want to thank you all for listening, and we'll be right back with more of the Music Factory after this.
Located at Norris Music in Winfield, Alabama. Let our skilled sound engineer and staff record, mix, and master your music at competitive rates. Established in 1986, our studio is newly remodeled for a creative atmosphere, including a furnished lounge area and equipped with all new state-of-the-art recording equipment. We record bands, church groups, and families. Record the demo you need to pursue your musical career, or just record a gift for family members. We will work with you to achieve the project you have in mind. Instruments are available as well as studio musicians. Call for more details.
Blue Diamond Rock and Gravel Military Street South in Hamilton has one of the largest selections of rock, topsoil, gravel, sand, and Alabama sunset in this area. We also offer heavy equipment work from front end loader, bulldozer, dump trucks, grading and trenching equipment to our new skid steer. We also buy timber and timber land. So for all of your rock and gravel needs, plus heavy equipment work, contact us at Blue Diamond Rock and Gravel at 205-921-9218. Does Chops Barbecue have some of the best food you'll ever put in your mouth? Does a bear go in the woods? Chops Barbecue, Frisco Street in Winfield, Alabama. Got my butt smoked at Chops.
Welcome back to the Music Factory. I am your host, Luke Morrison. And of course, joining us is Mr. Jake Fountain. Jake's going to play for us here in just a couple minutes, but first, let's talk about a couple of your songs. I really want to hear the inspiration and where you were at in your life when you wrote these songs. So tell us about what you're going to be playing for us.
Well, the first song I'm going to play is a song called 3 Days Before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a relationship. You know, you've heard a million songs about relationships, but actually, it's a pretty simple story. My girlfriend at the time, she was going to visit her family,
mm-hmm.
and she was having some family troubles, and she had to go see her grandmother and do some stuff like that, you know.
Right.
And she lived at the beach, and so she went back to Panama City, is where she was from, and she went down there and she called me, and she goes, you know, I really miss you or whatever, you know. And we were kind of having a little bit of trouble too, and she goes, you know, I just really want you to. She goes, she was being cute,
mm-hmm.
and she said, write me a song. and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write her a song, you know. And
wow.
it's just about her going home to see her family, and you build a life, you know. You have your family that you grew up with, but then it comes to a point in your life where you have to kind of sprout and do your own thing, and it's about the life that she has now,
right,
and the people that care about her now, you know, her other family. So.
I think that's something people could really relate to, because you all everyone kind of has of course their family life,
right,
or their parents and everything else, and then you move off and you do your own thing and eventually start your own family, but you have this new circle of people around you. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, man, you'd be surprised the friends that you acquire, you know.
Yeah, and the friends that you may lose touch with, but eventually reconnect with.
My dad always told me you're only going to have 1 or 2 really good friends in your lifetime that you can count on, you know, and you never know where that's going to come from.
Absolutely.
You know? So, and that's kind of what it's about.
I like that, man. We're going to hear 3 Days Before here in just a minute. But first, tell me about I Am With You.
I Am With You. This is a song that for me, you know, it's about God always being there for me, and you can take it any way you want to, and it's just, you know, if you've lost a loved one, or you have somebody that you really look up to, you know, and you always, you know, you're going through a hard time, or you have a big test, or you have a traumatic, you know, something, you know, traumatic that happens in your life, and you always have that one person that's with you. You know, for me, that's God. So that's what it's about. You know, just no matter what you go through in your life, you know, God's always there with you.
It's about having that rock in your life.
That's right. Or, you know, for some people it might be your dad, your mom, grandmother, you know, whoever, you know. So everybody has somebody that you look up to and that you feed off of, you know, throughout your life. So that's what it's about.
Again, very, very relatable, and I love to hear the story behind the song. So let's get right to it.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Hometown Studios, here's Mr. Jake Fountain.
Glance at the picture on the table. The beach was nice this time of year. She says goodbye and to the ones that she grew up with. See you around, well, maybe this time next year. And she's going back to what she knows. And Tuesday came, and left her too far away. And back to what she knows. Going back to find where she left 3 days before. And Grandma waves as the car pulls out of the driveway. And hold back your tears and make sure she could see your smile. And past the school in the church that she grew up in. And memories of when she was only a child. And now it's time to go back where her life is, and the one who is waiting for her. And she's going back to what she knows. And Tuesday came, and left her too far away. and back to what she knows. She's going back to find what she left 3 days. She just needs someone to hold her close when the night falls and when the day is done. She just needs the ones that she loves the most. She lives her life for, she'd give her own life for. And back to what she knows. And Tuesday came, left her too far away. And back to what she knows. She's going back to find what she left 3 days. And back to find what she left 3 days. All right, this next one I'm going to do real quick is a song called I Am With You. And when you feel like you're lost and alone, and when you feel like you're so far from home, and I'll be with you, and I am with you. And when it feels like the journey's too long, and when you feel like all hope is gone, and I'll be with you, and I am with you. And when you're breathing me in, your lips kiss the wind, I'm with you. And then you open your eyes to a brand new sunrise for you. And everything I do is for you. When everything you believe turns out wrong, and then you feel like you just don't belong, then I'll be with you, and I am with you. And you live life through mistakes that you've made, and when it seems like your dreams are so far away, I'm with you, and I'm with you. So when you're breathing me in, your lips kiss the wind, I'm with you. And then you open your eyes to a brand new sunrise for you. And everything I do is for you. And I'm with you. And I'm with you. So when you feel like you're lost and alone, when you feel you have no place to go, and I'll be with you, and and I am with you, and I'll be with you, and I am with you.
La Taqueria in downtown Hamilton across from Pawpaw's Opry invites you to come in for great food and a family atmosphere. Before you come, you can download our menu from our website and plan your meal. Our hours are Sunday 11 to 2, kids eat free from 12 to 2, Monday 11 to 2, Tuesday 11 to 8, aka Taco Tuesday, where the tacos are $1 after 4 p.m. Wednesday through Thursday 11 to 2, Friday 11 to 9, and we also have live entertainment on Friday nights. Saturday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So y'all give us a call at 205-921-0222 or visit us on Facebook.
I'd like to introduce y'all, but if you hadn't ever met Whit Miles in person, the Whit Miles. And I'd like to say this about Whit Miles. And all the things in television that I ever got out of it is to get to know this man right here. He's a good man, and I had a saying from Whit. Whit made his way, but the way is made, and that is a true statement. Thank you, Whit.
Thank you. Also.
Hi folks, power sliding doors, the least of the options on this van. Let me tell you some more about it. This is a 2004 Nissan Quest minivan. It's got more stuff on it than I've ever seen on a van. I'm 6'2" and I can even sit in the back seat. This thing's got navigation, sunroof, dual DVD screens, skylights, leather, you name it, it's got it. 107 on the miles. This can be yours for only $89.95. Where else can you buy a van that's got all this stuff on it for that price? Come by and see us here at Logan & Logan Auto Sales. Myself, Sean, Gerald, and Jerome Logan, we're here to help you. We're having fun. Come on out and see us. Carfax reports on everything. You need to come and check out our inventory before you make that next vehicle purchase. Our number is 205-952-9110, or look at us online at www.loganandloganautosales.com. Come by and see us.
Difference between Sea-Doo and other watercraft? Sea-Doo is the only watercraft with intelligent brake and reverse, so it can stop up to 100 feet sooner than other watercraft. Sea-Doo.
Visit your authorized Sea-Doo dealer at Motorsports Superstore in downtown Hamilton. Call 921-7777 or visit us today.
Welcome back to the Music Factory. I'm your host, Luke Morrison. You just heard two great songs from Mr. Jake Fountain. Check him out online at jakefountain.com. And man, I'm telling you, I told him during the break that I got chills listening to that music.
It's cold in here. It's definitely cold.
No, that's not what it was. But we were talking earlier, during the break about influences, and I told Jake that I listened to a lot of Third Day and a lot of Lifehouse and stuff like that, and he said those were actually some of his influences.
So big influences.
Tell me about that. Tell us more about your style. Can we expect to see more songs along those lines on the album?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Lifehouse is definitely one of my biggest influences. Mm-hmm. You know, I loved Lifehouse when they first came out before I ever picked up a guitar, mm-hmm. and they've just, their style and everything. You know, every band and everybody has their own preferences. I've played rock music, I've played metal, I've played country, mm-hmm. I've done all that. You know, but definitely Lifehouse is one of those bands that just never goes away. You know what I mean? And they have good messages and they're a good positive thing, and that's kind of, you know, everybody has their own style, but you also have influences. You know, somebody that says, well, I just have my own style, it's crazy, because you actually get your influences from, you know, the things you listen to, or, you know, people you see, like, I want to be like that one day, you know. Mm-hmm. So
well, you said that, you know, they have a positive message, and I do a contemporary Christian radio show called Joyful Noise. There's my plug, my shameless plug for the hour. Check out Joyful Noise. But now I like that you are kind of ambiguous, like the last song, "I Am With You." You kind of left that open ended, because I personally I think that I know that you're a Christian,
right?
But if we need to be, we don't need to jam our beliefs down someone's throat, because it may kind of make them become defensive and push them away.
That's right.
But I think if we do what you're doing and just present a positive message and kind of leave it up to interpretation, then as people learn more about you, they'll find out, oh, that's actually a Christian song. He's singing about his relationship with God.
Yes,
then
right.
I think that's going to draw a lot more people.
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. Have you used has music always been your mode of sharing your faith?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've only been playing music, for the past 13 years or so. And
it seems like longer, so you'll have to forgive me for that.
I know. I'm getting old, man. So, no, but I can't say, I would be lying if I said it was always there. But I've always been a music lover, and I remember when I first got the first Nirvana Unplugged, and I was in California, visiting my mom, and I just remember going down the road listening to Nirvana, and just thinking, wow, this is amazing, and then even like Stone Temple Pilots, that was big back then, so I started loving music way before I even knew I loved music. I think everybody, no matter who you are, I think everybody has a certain type of music that just grabs them, whether it's the rock or whether it's something beautiful.
And you kind of evolve. I know personally I've evolved from the really, really heavy stuff to the more I'm not going to say easier, but something along the lines of what you do, because it seems more heartfelt and it seems like it's more relatable.
Well, I don't like to compare styles and stuff, because everybody has their own style. But for me, that's what comes out when I pick up a guitar. It's melodic. It has melody. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. But
I think it certainly is.
That's what comes out, So I mean, every music has its place. I mean, there's a lot. I make a living right now playing rock music in a band, touring, playing bass, and how could you knock that? I mean, you can't really knock it. But at the same time, what really gets me inside is a message where I can take a story and then relate it to somebody. And with my music, what I'm really excited about is to finally have an album out that all ages can hear. Like my grandmother or your grandmother, or
exactly. It's family safe.
It's definitely family safe, and I think that's what it's about. You can reach a larger crowd if you have something that everybody can enjoy. So
well, let's dive into the new album. We've kind of alluded to it a few times, but let's really dive in and talk about this thing, because I'm excited. I know you're excited, and everybody certainly after hearing you perform is excited about it. When can we expect it?
It's going to be late this year, late 2013. Okay. So we don't want to put an exact stamp on it, but it's definitely going to be late this year. It might even be a holiday release.
Okay, and you're going to have a release party?
We will have a release party. And I'll probably have a few of them.
Okay.
And just different shows, like not really a party, but a release show. Presenting it, and that'll happen. Shortly, probably in the fall. Shortly before.
Okay, and we can expect the first single to be coming out.
We'll start pushing this first single. We'll kind of on the stay on jakefountain.com, and that's going to give you all the tour dates, all the merchandise stuff that you can get. All that kind of and that's going to give you the update on when the album's actually coming out, and you'll probably get a sneak peek of one of the songs, probably whatever the first single is going to be. You'll get that. Right before the album drops. So I'll kind of give you a sneak peek, of what's going on.
Yeah, and this hour is just a small taste of what you're going to be getting on the album. So be sure and stay tuned on jakefountain.com. Learn more about that. Check him out on Facebook, all that good stuff. Now, tell me about the process of the album, because we've talked, and this was kind of this album has been a long time in the making, longer than you would typically think. I know a lot of artists will get in the studio and they'll just cram for just a few weeks, and then they've got an album. Right. But there's also downsides to that. Tell me about your process and why you went about it that way.
I've been in a few. I was in one band called Lock 13, and we were signed. We got signed, and our record label sent us to Miami for a month, and we had 30 days to do our record, which we rehearsed and we rehearsed and we knew the songs and we knew what was going on. So we got down there and we knocked it out. And you know, what that does is that rush that you get in, you know, just like anything, you know, if you have 10 minutes to bake a cake, it's probably not going to turn out quite like you might be able to make it happen and it tastes good,
right,
but the presentation wasn't quite what you wanted, you know.
Okay.
So with music, you know, with my experiences, you know, you just look back and there's so many different regrets of things that you would change, you know. And when you're working on a project with other musicians, that everybody has a different perspective on what needs to happen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of settling that goes on in the group, where as of my music, I don't have to be selfish or stingy because it's already mine. You know what I'm saying? So now what I can do is I can sit back with somebody, a producer, like I have Cody Webb is the producer. He's actually the lead singer of a band called Ages Apart, and he's an excellent producer. And he
can they find Ages Apart online?
Yep, just Google Ages Apart. Okay. It's all over the place. They're on the radio. They're on, you know, Octane Radio and all that kind of stuff. But they're on a lot of rock radio stations. Just a good Christian guy, great guy, man. And he really believed in the product, and he's helped. You know, we've worked really hard on it.
How did you and Cody first meet? What was
you know, like? Cody was when I used to live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and he was doing a lot of work and stuff, and he was coming up doing some stuff, you know.
Right.
And he just got on fire with what he was doing and got a lot of recognition, and he's worked with some huge producers in the Christian industry, you know. I'm not going to throw any names out there, but it's, you know, we started talking, and he was following my music, and he was interested in it. So, but we met in Tuscaloosa probably, shoot, man, we probably met
long time ago.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
8 or 9 years ago.
We'll hide that we're getting old.
Yeah,
but
can't hide it, man.
So you work with Cody. Tell us about the other guys that are on your album.
I got a really great drummer, one of my best friends, Tim Stanton. He plays with a band that a lot of people know of. They tour all over the United States and other countries, called the Ugly Stick.
Yes.
And you've heard of those guys. And Tim, he's just a great guy. He's played with people like One Republic. He's played with he plays with Victor Wooten, you know, the amazing bass player, you know, and he plays with some of those guys. So for him, you know, we had talked, you know, for 3 or 4 years about him coming in and doing the drums, because I'm not a drummer.
Right.
So why not get the best, you know? And so he was gracious enough to come in and just do what I wanted, you know, and just put his own twist on it. He's a phenomenal drummer, and man, it turned out really good with him. I'm very lucky to have high quality musicians that came in to help me.
Your guitar player?
Guitar player, the electric guitar player that came in, he plays all the lead and stuff. His name's Josh Bright, and he's done some stuff. He played a little bit with Big and Rich. He's played with Billy Currington a little bit, and he's played with he plays with Shenandoah. And he also has probably 10 or 15 other projects that he has going on, but he found time and he said, yeah, man, when it comes out, I want to do it. So we got him in there and do it, man. It's just, he just laid down some really sick guitar stuff, you know, and man, it's amazing to play with high caliber musicians, you know. It's a blessing to do that.
And it's good to kind of, you know, bring in the people you want to kind of do it the right way, the way that you want. Now, how long have you been working on this album?
Man, you know, some of the songs, you know, some of these ideas and songs have come from just years of experience, you know, like, you know, the life experiences that I've been through. And I probably, the actual album, the recording process, we only have about 40 studio days that we've had in it, you know, which a normal record is 30, you know, 20 to 30 days, 40 days, the way they do it nowadays. But this 40 days has been stretched over a 2-year span. So what's happened is we went in and, you know, we did a lot of pre-production, you know, songs that I had been writing for years, you know. Me and Cody, my producer, we sat down and he was just like, man, just grab your guitar, let's, you know, and he threw a mic up right in front of me and said, let's just see what you got, you know.
Right.
And so I went through the big list of like 15 songs that I had, you know, just ready to play. I thought they were ready. And, I mean, they were ready, but we were going to make them really ready. So we did what they call pre-production. And that's when you go in and you just gut everything, you know. So what we did is we went in and we were like, okay, this is good, but let's change this or let's change this. So we kind of tapered it to what we wanted, you know, with just the pre-production. So we did a week long, you know, probably 3 or 4 days of just pre-production, which in a normal circumstance, that would have been 3 days of actual recording that we would have already had to do.
Yeah, you would have had to bring that into the studio with you, right?
Right, and the downside to that is what happens is usually when you go in to do an album, you want to do the drums first because that's the backbone. You got to get the drum tracks down. Well, the problem with that is is if you haven't done pre-production to make sure you know what you want. Once those drum tracks are down,
you have to fit within that.
That's right.
Within
and
that,
you're spending money going back and fixing drums if you don't like them, or you're stuck with those drums. So you have to follow. You know, the bass has to follow the kick drum. You know, you have to follow all the, you know, everything has to line up in order. You know, music is numbers. So, which I was never good at in high school. Numbers, yeah. But
so you spread about 40 studio days over the course of 2 years.
Right.
And you feel like that process let you you took some great songs that you already had, but it let you polish them.
Well, yeah, you polish them. You know, what happened is we went in there for a week. We did the pre-production. You know, I would leave and like I go to Alaska twice a year to play music, and I'm up there for a month at a time. So that gives me a month to really sit back and marinate, you know, on the ideas and the things that are going on in the songs. And then when we get back in the studio, there's no question. We know. We're like, yes, that needs to be done now.
Yeah.
Rather than just do something and be like, yeah, it's good. And then 2 or 3 years later, you're going, man, what was I thinking, you know? So it's really, you know, stepping away from the project, outside the box, and then being anxious to get back in there and fix those things. Really, it just kept it alive, you know.
Right,
so,
and plus you've got a great set of ears in your producer.
That's right.
Who is accomplished enough to be able to, being a musician and a producer he kind of brings a lot more to the table than someone else would.
Exactly right, man.
Well, that's great, man. I'm really excited. The album is yet untitled, but folks, keep your eyes and ears open for Mr. Jake Fountain, because you're going to hear a lot more for him. Now, is there anything going to be like online or any kind of are you doing anything on YouTube or anything like that? I know you got some videos out.
Yeah, well, I haven't done any professional videos for my stuff, but there's definitely going to be some videos. You'll be able to catch this program on YouTube or whatever. But we're going to do a video release when the album gets closer to being released. For the single, whatever the first single is off the record, there'll be a nice professional video for that. And then if you go to jakefountain.com, it's in the works right now. But right now, what it's going to do, if you go to jakefountain.com, it's gonna send you to my Facebook page, so you can stay personally in touch with what I have going on. And once everything is done, then we're gonna, once we get the website finished, it's gonna have tour dates, merchandise, everything that you can think of on there. Photos, videos. It's gonna have everything on the website. So.
When do you expect that you'll start touring solo?
That just depends, man.
Depends on how things go.
It really depends. That's why I'm out trying to promote and get some stuff going with that. We have some good contacts and good producer working with me and stuff that has a lot of contacts, people interested, in the product. So we just have to get it finished and shop it to management. Right. Once the management gets a hold of it and stuff like that. So
it's a whole process.
It's a big process.
I would not want to go through,
it's a big process.
You've definitely got so much invested in this, and it's a lot more than just jamming out. I mean, I can tell you're really connected to your music, and it really means a lot to you. And
thank you.
And I think that translates well to the folks at home.
I hope so.
So be sure to stay tuned to jakefountain.com. Be his friend on Facebook, all that good stuff. And stay tuned right here to the Music Factory, because coming up next, we're going to hear a couple more tracks from my good buddy Jake Fountain here on Hometown TV.
Hello, I'm Gary Mixon, owner of Northwest Alabama Heating and Cooling in Hamilton, Alabama. We're running a spring special, $50 for an AC checkup here in the city limits of Hamilton. Here at Northwest, we like for our customers to get the biggest for their buck, and we're trying to accomplish that with this summer special. Thank you.
Most paints have color that sits on the surface, but nothing beats Benjamin Moore's Color Lock technology that locks color right in, no matter how often you wash it. Color Lock technology, exclusively from your Benjamin Moore retailer.
Welcome to Econo Lodge in Hamilton, Alabama.
Thank you for choosing Econo Lodge and Suites. Become a Choice Privilege member and earn a free night. We are pet friendly and have in-room suites, king and double, with smoking or smoke-free spacious rooms with cable and free internet. Enjoy a continental breakfast from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and remember, we will match prices. Call us for special rates for Hackleburg tornado disaster relief. Here at Econo Lodge, we welcome the ramp. Visit us at our website at econolodge.com.
Walton's Greenhouse has 2 retail locations ready to aid you in your gardening adventures. Our experienced staff are ready to assist you in attaining the yard you've been wishing for, or just to make your thumb a little greener. This year's new addition to the Walton's Greenhouse operation are a gift shop and bulk garden seed sales for the avid gardener or just the beginner. We have everything you need to get the job started and everything you need to get it finished. Walton's Greenhouse is proud to be a Durskin portable building retailer. Our old location in Fulton is home to a display of ready-to-purchase portable buildings. Walton's and West Masonry Art have teamed up to complete your outdoor experience. Once you have beautified your yard with plants from Walton's, you have to have a seating area to enjoy it. Come check out and lounge by the West Masonry Art custom designed and built stone fireplaces. That's Walton's Greenhouse in Fulton. Call 662-862-3399.
Welcome back to the Music Factory, folks. I am your host, Luke Morrison. Joining us once again is Mr. Jake Fountain, and he's got an album coming out at the end of this year. It's yet untitled, but you've got to check it out. Go to jakefountain.com for more information about that. Be his friend on Facebook. Be sure to follow him, because if you heard his songs earlier, you're going to know that this guy's going places, folks. He is just outstanding. And we're going to talk some more. Before we hear a couple more songs, let's talk about those tracks. What's the first one we're going to hear?
What do we got here? What Would You Do? What Would You Do is a song that I think that this world definitely needs to hear. What Would You Do? Because it puts a lot of things into perspective about what's going on, in the government, what's going on in our households. The things that we always, as people, we always want to go the easy way. We want to stay away from conflict. We want to do the things that just appeal to us. We don't like rules. We don't like regulations. We don't like people telling us what to do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But whether you like it or not, there are rules and regulations. And the thing is that this day and age, those rules and regulations that built this country of what we are is not the same thing. It's not. It's depleting. It's going in a way that we think that we should act. We're not taking direction, and that's what that song's about. To me, what would you do? It's talking about what would you do.
What point in your life do you think you're at when you were like, what did you? Was there anything in particular that drew you to write that song, or just kind of the big picture?
I guess the first time that I heard that it was an issue to pray in school or to say that Pledge of Allegiance. I think that's when it hit me. I was like, man, this is, it's really happening. Like, I can't believe that we're, as Christians or as just people that, we'll spend, we spend the money that says in God we trust,
Yeah.
But we don't trust God, And
that's a very good point.
You know what I mean? And you Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, of our United States. That's a pledge not just to God or just to whoever. That's a pledge that, the United States, man. You know what I mean? So it's for you to live in a country that you don't even pledge allegiance to. How much sense does that make?
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at with that. And that's where that song came from.
Well, really quickly, tell us about Why. This is a song that you can find on iTunes right now.
Yeah.
And I love this song.
Why
is
one
of my
just
favorites.
Thank you, man. It's just a sappy love song, really. I went through a hard time, and it I was sitting back going, everybody goes through hard times, whether you get fired from your job or there's so many different things that you go through, and you just go, why am I even dealing with this?
Yeah.
Why do I have to go through this? Why, why? There's always that question, why? Why? And I think it pretty much sums it up. It's, why does it have to be so hard to go through life?
Right.
Period. Whatever you're going through, just know, that other people are going through the same thing that you are.
Very powerful topics, very relatable. For one last time, folks, well, actually, we may hear you again in a little bit, but everybody, Mr. Jake Fountain.
teach of destruction and madness beyond our belief. The lessons are learned, and yet there's still much to teach. Have people forgotten, and they've only one life to live? They're too busy taking away, they've forgotten to give. And who knows which way to go? But I know He still loves me so. And if I could give you the key to the world, would you run to me? And could you lay in the shadows of the Almighty God? And we can't keep on forgetting when all He's done, and we can't turn and hide or try to run. The answer's in you. And what would you do? And what would you do? The Pledge of Allegiance has faded away. What could they be teaching to our kids today? The rules and regulations laid down, the buildings and walls will come down. Which way do we go? And who do you know that will pick you back up off the ground? And who knows and which way to go? But I know He still loves me so. And if I could give you the key to the world, would you run to me? And could you lay in the shadows of the Almighty God? And we can't keep on forgetting when all He's done, and we can't turn and hide or try to run. The answer's in you. And what would you do? And what would you do? And who knows and which way to go? All right. Thank you. All right, this is an oldie, but it's a goodie. This is called Why.
Love this song.
All right, man. Talking about the plans we made, 'cause now it seems like plans have changed. There's nothing left for us to say. And now I see the memory of when your face still haunts my dreams at night. But even though it's been so long and it just don't feel right, so why does it have to be so hard? And why did you have to go and to run so far? And what does it take to live like this? 'Cause I don't know just what we missed and why. Peace of mind is all sometimes so hard to find, when all I did was leave behind this love I tried so hard to find. And so please tell me all the things I could have done to keep you here, when all I did was drown your love so deep in fear. So why does it have to be so hard? And why did you have to go and to run so far? And what does it take to live like this? 'Cause I don't know. 'Cause I don't know where I went wrong, but I did, and I did. But you don't know, and what it's like to be me, to be me. So why does it have to be so hard? And to run so far? And what does it take to live like this? 'Cause I don't know. I don't know just what we missed and why.
Outstanding, brother. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jake Fountain. Got the new album coming out at the end of this year. You've got to check it out. Go to jakefountain.com, learn more about Mr. Fountain and his incredible music that he's
Thank you.
I can tell you're really feeling it, man.
Loving
and
it,
that
man.
means so much.
You got to, man.
Big thanks to the sponsors of the show. We want to urge you to support the sponsors that support this show, because without them we wouldn't be here. So be sure to patronize those folks and tell them that you saw them here on Hometown TV. And we look forward to seeing you guys again next week, and maybe we'll get to sit down with Mr. Fountain again sometime soon.
All right.
For Hometown TV, I'm Luke Morrison. We'll see you next time.